hair's gonna be all jacked up from the wind. Great. Alright, first of all, shout out to Eric hooking me up with this awesome freaking Eagles tee. It's gonna be my new favorite Eagles shirt for the season. Anyways, it's your girl Dehlia, PhilaDehliaEagles.com. And if you couldn't tell, there's this giant behind me, known by Mark Vaderr. And we're at some random undisclosed location right now. And we're about to break down the Eagles versus Bills game day matchup. Yes, I know it's like week 14, or is it week 14?
Week 14.
Week 14, so it's quite a ways away, but he and I are super homies, so of course we have to get a little more in depth. So for fun, since we have a little more time during the off season, we thought we would, what are we gonna do, Vaderr?
We're going to break down our teams as to who has the edge in which position.
Alright, sounds like a plan, Vaderr. You ready for this?
I am so ready. Hey, I've been waiting. You know what? I've been waiting for this for 4 years.
4 years, huh?
Because this is the game that I first saw you on YouTube.
This is how Vaderr discovered me, my first year of making videos.
Bills versus Eagles.
I was at the Disneyland Hotel making a vlog, because that's how I roll sometimes.
And then I saw your post-game reaction, and then after that I subscribed to you.
Yeah, subscribe, suckers!
The first time it wasn't as meaningful because we didn't know each other.
And it was a crappy loss for my Eagles, the worst. Freaking, Jake, what was his name? Jaquan? The dude that went, was it?
Yeah.
Oh God.
He jumped offside.
Jumped offside.
A hard count.
Who does that? Okay, so that was the last time our teams faced. Now
they're playing in Philadelphia this year.
All right, well, I'm ready to get serious, to get into this whole analysis of our team.
Okay.
That's better. What we're gonna do is we're pulling up our depth charts, and we're just gonna break it down one by one. And I have not done my research, but you know, I already know my birds.
But before we start with our teams, let's start with the 2 men on the sidelines.
Oh, the coaches. Okay. So we have Chip Kelly versus
Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan obviously has lots of experience as a head coach, and all that time with the Jets. Went to 2 AFC championships, if I remember correctly.
When was that? That was a very long time ago, right?
Yes, that was a
Okay.
while ago. It was all about defense, and that will be vital to what the Bills have. His offensive mind, though, is subpar to par.
So when speaking of the offensive mind, and Rex Ryan, I think of offense and I think of quarterbacks. And the quarterbacks that he's gone through and the careers he has destroyed. Okay? Every single quarterback he's had, they've all struggled. Right? There's something lacking. And that's why he's no longer with the Jets. I don't see it improving considering your quarterback situation right now. When talking about our coach Chip Kelly, I think there's a lot more upside and a lot more potential, and he's already had some success, not as much success as we would have liked, but you know, we're Eagles fans. It's like Super Bowl or bust.
Well, with Chip Kelly, there's still a lot more that we need to learn about. He is making the Eagles his own team, and there's no more emphasis he can put at than this past offseason.
Here's what I've learned about Chip Kelly and making the comparison with Rex Ryan. They do things differently in the sense, Chip Kelly doesn't put up with those poor locker room presence players. If you're a bad influence, a bad character, undisciplined, you don't stand a chance on his team.
Then why did he get rid of Nick Foles?
We're getting into quarterback talk now, so let's decide it on coach first. So you guys, Rex Ryan just signed the dude that punched Geno Smith and broke his jaw. So what does that tell you as far as coaching and the tone he's setting with that team, bringing on a guy that punches the starting quarterback and breaks his jaw and takes him out 6 to 10 weeks? You can't tell me that's something you would agree or think is a good thing to do.
It was a circus move, no doubt.
And that's what he's full of, the
yes.
circus moves that there's more downside than upside.
IKNM Poly was drafted by Rex Ryan. He saw something in him that he thought was good, and there had been reports that he was having a decent to good camp.
All right.
Now,
so bottom line, I'm gonna let you answer this question.
Let me say,
Because
if
this
Ralph
is
Wilson,
coming long, we're gonna
Ralph-
have to like keep it concise.
if Ralph Wilson was the owner, that probably is still the owner. That move never would have happened. But yes, okay.
Exactly, but see, a move like that tells me Rex has not learned from his mistakes, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem. Because the leader of your team, the freaking coach of your team, is not learning from his many mistakes. That's trouble. Where do you stand with this? Chip Kelly versus Rex Ryan.
I give the edge to the Bills on experience because we still don't really know what Chip Kelly.
You are completely.
We don't
Okay,
know what
this-
Chip Kelly. I find his trade of Nick Foles for Sam Bradford still highly questionable.
Not that questionable. Sam Bradford, the moments he played were better than Nick Foles. He's
Nick
a better
Foles
quarterback.
got the Eagles to the playoffs, and by no fault of his own, got injured. And
But it was.
if it worked before, why wouldn't it work again? And Sam Bradford, while he does have potential, how is Bradford that big of an upgrade over Nick Foles? I don't see it.
So Foles did not play the full season that we went to the playoffs. He finished that season.
But he was the
So
one
he
who
wasn't
did
the
least
sole
of it.
purpose. So yeah, he did, and I think he's a great leader. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think there's a lot of potential. But I think the same is with Bradford. The moments that we saw of him were great, and he has the potential to be better than Foles.
How long of the season did he? I mean, yeah, it wasn't the whole
And
season,
we
but it was
saw
a lot of the season.
last
It was a lot
season
of
we
the
got the full season of Nick Foles, and it wasn't as good as his first.
He also got injured too,
Yes.
so he didn't play the full season on that one.
But so now you're making the argument of, oh, but he's injured, so you have to account for when he's healthy. And that's what I'm saying. Sam Bradford is the same case.
But it's not like when you have to play. It's not like he only played 4 games and you got the playoffs. He played a good amount of time
Yeah.
to do that.
Well, I'm just saying, he didn't start, and his first season was his best season with us. Second one, we just missed the playoffs.
And that's enough to say you're
But
out of here.
Chip knows he needs to restructure things, and he needs to make big moves. And I think, from what I saw you watched the game, you saw Sam Bradford.
Yes, I saw
He
it.
looked really good.
Yes, one series. And that
Exactly,
was
and that's all I needed to
That's-
see for the moment.
So your final analysis is
Chip, for me, final now, Chip wins hands down as far as coaching goes. Like, I'm very thrown off by you thinking Rex Ryan would be better than Chip Kelly in this game.
I think
Rex
on
Ryan just
experience.
got fired, okay? Like, so you're going as the dude that just got fired after destroying 3 quarterbacks' careers, and somehow he's better than Chip Kelly,
The person who
who's
would
been
have
going 10-6 straight right out the gate, and 1 playoff appearance, and is restructuring the team finally to fit his needs, and getting rid of all the poor character players and bringing in high potential, high integrity type of guys.
and got out of Oregon
Where-
before the axe came down when he would
that
have gotten
that
penalized.
has nothing to do with the
Oh,
NFL. Like,
That goes to character though. It goes to the kind of person we're talking about.
we don't know the details of that.
Yes, because
We
he
know
got
the
out of
details.
there in
No,
time.
we don't know the details. Well, hey,
He pulled
that-
he pulled it. He
Yeah,
pulled
but
a Pete
you're
Carroll.
talking-
He did what Pete Carroll did.
well, look, Pete Carroll has a Super Bowl ring, so if he's doing Pete Carroll moves, I'm down with that. Rex
Okay.
Ryan is not doing Pete Carroll moves.
Well,
So,
I
are
believe
you
it's in
seriously
that.
picking Rex Ryan?
Yes, I am.
Oh my god. Okay, this is gonna be something interesting. All right. Well, that coaching one took like a long time. All right. Well, let's try and break it down concisely for the next position. You know what? We just talked about the coaches and how they handled quarterbacks differently.
So you start off this time.
Okay. So
You have
we have good old Sam Bradford, a lot of potential, risk of injury, right? Then we have Mark Sanchez, the quarterback whose career was destroyed by Rex Ryan. With Mark Sanchez, we haven't seen those stupid, like, Buffalo type of things with him during his time with Chip Kelly.
yeah, but you haven't really seen that much that was really that impressive to begin begin with in the first place.
He performed as a second string quarterback should. Okay?
He was subpar.
That's a fair assessment.
He's subpar. Okay.
Exactly. He's the second string quarterback.
Okay.
And I'm fine with that. If he's our
So
starting
it's possible
quarterback,
that he was
I'm
a second
interested.
string quarterback. That he was a second string quarterback who thought he was a first string quarterback when he was with the Jets. It's quite possible that was. The
Yeah,
case.
but Rex Ryan drafted him, so that's all on
Yeah,
Rex
that's true.
Ryan.
That's on it. I agree with that. All right.
So let's hear your quarterbacks.
We have veteran Matt Castle, and I'm just going to name them all. We also have newly acquired Tyrod Taylor from the Ravens, and our first round pick from a couple of years ago, E.J. Manuel. Now, Matt Castle is a journeyman veteran quarterback.
Backup quarterback.
He's a veteran. Honestly, he's not that exciting of a quarterback because, in my opinion, he's not that good of a quarterback. He's a backup quarterback playing starter. Basically, he's going to be Kyle Orton for us like last year. Tyrod Taylor, who has been the backup in Baltimore for 3 or 4 years, but now he's been given an opportunity to become a starter. And from what I've seen, he's an exciting player. He runs a lot. Some people say that he has Michael Vick potential. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. E.J. Manuel has gotten a lot of flack that I don't think he fully deserves, because the plan when he was drafted was not to start him right away, and lo and behold, Kevin Cobb lost the battle with the rubber mat, and then
I forgot about that. Sorry.
then he had to retire because of concussion, and then all of a sudden E.J. Manuel was the veteran. So at this point in time, they have not announced a starter yet.
So what I'm hearing is you have 3 backup quarterbacks available. You just need to figure out which one's going to start.
Yep, that's pretty much it.
So with that, it should be agreed on who wins in this category.
It should be.
If you say your team, I'm going to be very disappointed with you. You know where I stand. I think we at least have one first string caliber quarterback, and you have only second string.
Right.
And beyond.
Right.
So, what team wins this round?
In this case, I give the edge to the Eagles.
There we go. Now we have, we'll stick with offense. Let's do wide receivers.
Okay.
There's a lot of unknowns with our wide receiver position. So Cooper, Huff, and Matthews. Then Austin, Aguilar, and Tutu, as we call him. So, to be honest, with our wide receivers, that's something we've always been lacking. A really good top-tier wide receiver. We saw some potential from Jordan Matthews, our rookie last year, which I like. I think this
He's a good receiver.
I think this year he can do really well, and he could be a number 1 for us. But again, there's sometimes rookies that have that decline their second season too. So for
I don't see how he can't be a number 1 receiver on your team considering who you have.
Yeah, and considering Riley Cooper is still on the team.
He's not number 1. He's not.
Considering Riley Cooper still on the team says a lot about our wide receiver core. We could use more talent there. So I'm hoping our draft picks, with draft picks, it's all unknowns. We don't know how they're going to perform. I like what I see so far and what I've read. Like Aguilar, there's a lot of potential. But again, I don't know, so I can't really say.
For the Bills, we have Sammy Watkins, who we drafted last year. Robert Woods, been with us for 3 years. Percy Harvin. Then you have backup guys like Marquise Goodwin and Chris Hogan that most people probably aren't that familiar with. Sammy Watkins is a talent. The thing that could be holding him back is the quarterback position. Robert Woods, some people believe that he's a Hines Ward type of receiver, and it's easy to see that comparison. Then, like I said, you've got Percy Harvin, who's an X factor, and we don't know what he's going to do. He basically signed a prove-it-year contract so he can show off what he can do. At wide receiver, the Bills are set. They have very, very good talent there, and it's very strong position.
Yeah, with the Eagles, it's vice versa. So we have the stronger quarterback that's lacking. That what's holding them back is the lack of wide receiver talent. And the Bills, your wide receivers, talent is lacking the quarterback.
Right.
So in this case, I would give it to you guys.
Good, because that's what I would say to edge builds in this one.
I'm keeping it real, y'all. Okay, just keeping it real.
Running back.
Oh! Running backs. Well. We got running backs for days. For days and days. So, yes, the big offseason move, DeMarco Murray,
Yeah.
Ryan Matthews, and Darren Sproles. Like, who? I love Sproles. I just love me some Sproles. All right? So, to have him as our third option and above him, Matthews and Murray, I'm just like, we are stacked.
The Saints are ruining the day they made that trade.
What y'all got?
Well, we have LaShawn McCoy.
Oh!
And we have the ageless wonder Fred Jackson. We have Boobie Dixon. We have Bryce Brown.
You got two of our former running backs.
And the rookie from Florida State, Carlos Williams. And I'll throw in Jerome Felton. He's a fullback that they picked up from the Vikings as well. That is important to this offense because the offense is going to be a ground and pound offense the way they are setting it up. LaShawn McCoy, I don't need to tell you anything you already don't know about LaShawn McCoy. He is one of the top running backs in the NFL. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Boobie Dixon is a bigger running back who has been very productive for us and deserves mention as well. Bryce Brown is the explosive back that also gives us something that we can use, and then Carlos Williams adds something. So there's no way the Bills are going to be able to keep each one of these running backs.
Did McCoy leave a preseason game? Did he get injured?
Yeah, actually, all of them got injured. None of them were like critical out for the year or out for half the season injury. They're all expected to be back in time for the first game of the season.
So considering who we got, what team wins this round?
This one I say edge builds. I think from a depth perspective, all the way.
Vaderr! I used to hold you so high in your ability to really analyze and know just straight up facts, okay? You can't tell me, you cannot tell me the Eagles is not one of the best running back groups in the NFL. Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
With McCoy, here's my concern.
Just so you know, I'm picking this as a whole. I'm not going
Yeah,
with
you
just
have.
one player.
I know.
I am not.
And
I am
Ryan
not putting Ryan Matthews over Fred Jackson or Boobie Dixon.
and Sproles.
Sproles, I will give you Sproles as a very talented person, a person that does not does not play the entire field, but that's not what he's supposed to do also.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's an overwhelming majority edge. It's close.
All right. No way. Sproles and Murray alone
I need to see how
are
Murray does.
freaking badass.
I need to see how Murray does without being on the Cowboys.
Oh gosh, you're gonna talk about the O-line. We Eagles had the second-ranked O-line last year, and from what I saw, all that time that Bradford had yesterday during the preseason game tells me we're gonna be all right in O-line,
Okay.
even though we lost some players. But I think what we have now is pretty strong.
Okay. So you're giving the edge to the Eagles. So.
Of course. Oh my gosh.
All right.
I am just seriously.
Do you want to end this video right now?
Yes! Okay, let me just talk about McCoy real quick. I love him. He's a very talented player, but again, mental side of things can alter a player's performance, no matter how talented they are. Mark Sanchez can take a team to AFC championship games, right? But when things get all crazy and they start to get overwhelmed with whatever is happening personally, on the field, off the field, whatever, that can affect their game and they could go on this downward spiral. Now, what I'm observing from McCoy this offseason, there's a lot of bitterness, a lot of immaturity, there's a lot of just personal and emotional side of him that he normally wouldn't show, okay? But now it's here and it can go one of two ways. It could help him be, I'm gonna shove it in your face type of like crazy amazing player, or it can be the opposite, where he's just gonna have this decline where people are gonna be like, wow, what happened to this, used to be very talented running back. So I sense some instability with McCoy right now. And that's why it's an even stronger case for our running backs, where I see strength, I see security, and I see us, that's going to be our strength this season. But let's move on. We are split in this, which is baffles me.
Let's have a quick tight end thing. This will be really quick.
Okay.
Tight end, we have newly signed from the Dolphins, Charles Clay. After that, it gets a little dicey. We have Marquez Gray from the Vikings with some potential. Matthew Mulligan, basically a blocking tight end, and Chris Gregg, who's been with the team a couple of years, hasn't really found a comfortable spot. And then newly acquired draft pick Nick O'Leary from Florida State, who has pretty good potential. Charles Clay, I think, is a very good signing, both as a blocker and as a receiver. I'm concerned about depth, though. After him, it's a big question mark.
Our top three, we got Brent Selleck, Zach Ertz, and Trey Burton. I love Selleck. I think he's a great tight end, and he's a veteran, been in, played with this team, he's done a lot for us. And Zertz, we see spurt from him, but I'd like to see more. And I don't know enough about your guys to really compare the difference.
As a whole, I would say edge Eagles. Offensive line. Again, this can be done really quick. All right, at left tackle, Cordy Glenn. At left guard, the bully, Richie Incognito. Center, Eric Wood. Right guard, rookie from Louisville, John Miller. And at right tackle, Chantrell Henderson. A lot of people do not know this offensive line, so a lot of people were saying that it's a big concern with us. In some cases, I see that, but I don't think it's as big a concern as everybody says. Cordy Glenn has played at a Pro Bowl level in four of his 5 years that he's been with the team. He's just never made it to the Pro Bowl. Eric Wood has been a very solid center, and I think Chantrell Henderson is somebody that is has been overlooked. Now, Richie Incognito. We all know about his story. He's been out of football for over a year, so he's going to have some rust. This is a unit that has very, very strong potential. Don't sleep on it.
Okay. So our O-line. Now we have two, veteran, just core players within the O-line that they're a part of that number 2 ranked O-line last season. People overlook how good our O-line performed last season because the Cowboys always try to, talk about how them be the best. But anyways, we did have a lot of change, which made me very nervous. Once Evan Mathis left, I was just like, I was a little worried. But now that I've gotten to see a couple preseason games, I've seen the time that our quarterback has in the pocket, which is very nice. So Jason Kelsey, Jason Peters, those are my dudes. Okay, they're just super talent. They've been protecting our QBs for years, right? Now, we have the very first draft pick that Chip Kelly had done during his rookie year with us was Lane Johnson. And he's our right tackle. And with him, for a first-round draft pick, he hasn't been everything that we wanted, but he hasn't been some horrible bust. So what I'm hoping is that he can really step up this season and just do what he needs to do as a first pick. Like, he was our first overall pick,
It was number 10 overall.
Yeah, so I really want him to step up, and I think he can. And I think Chip Kelly, he's getting these guys in line. And then who else did I miss? So Andrew Gardner at right guard and Alan Barber left guard. And with the O-line, I'll say a lot of change. So again, with change, you haven't seen how the unit works all together in a very high intense kind of pressure situation. I'm very optimistic right now about this O-line, but also uncertain. So.
All right. Yeah, I know all about, as a Bills fan, I know all about Jason Peters. There's nothing, and and all Bills fans know what I'm talking about. There's nothing that you can tell us about Jason Peters. In this situation, I say it's Eagles. I can't deny that the Eagles do have a superior offensive line in this comparison.
Respect. All right.
So the opposite. Now we go to the other end of the ball. Defense.
Yeah, since we went O-line, let's go D-line, man.
All right.
I'm feeling good about our guys.
Well, we've got Mario Williams. We've got Kyle Williams. We've got Marcel Darius, and we have Jerry Hughes. This line is incredible. You have a amazing pass rusher in Mario Williams. Pro Bowl player, been incredible, and he still continues to deliver at a high level. He's been fantastic with the Bills since he's gotten there. Kyle Williams, a veteran, went to I think he's gone to 2 Pro Bowls. Has been a solid defensive tackle, for years now. Marcel Darius is a monster, and he will continue to be one in Buffalo for years to come. The man is just, he's just fantastic. He's incredible. And then there's Jerry Hughes. What a story he's been. Drafted by the Colts a few years ago, traded player for player because he was a disappointment there. And then all of a sudden, he's been putting up double-digit sacks or near double-digit sacks ever since he's gotten there. And he's not just a pass rusher, he is also becoming a complete defensive end.
Pro Bowlers last year?
Everyone except for Jerry Hughes.
Wow, okay. All right, so Eagles-wise, we got Fletcher Cox, Benny Logan, Cedric Thornton. Backups, Vinny Curry, Alan Bowe, and Brandon
So
Bear.
you have a 3-4, so you have 3 defense, yes. The Bills have a 4-3, just to emphasize that.
So, these guys, not Pro Bowl, type of guys, but Benny Logan, he's young, and he had his first season with us last year, which I think he can really step up and do great things this year and maybe be that type of player. I'd say you guys,
This isn't even close. Edge
yeah,
Bills.
it's easy. Boom, I'll hand it to you guys.
Okay, linebackers. You can start this time.
My boys. So, Connor Barwin, D'Amico Ryans, Kiko Alonso, and Brandon Graham. So, I'm excited. We're very excited about these guys. I mean, Connor Barwin, with my glasses on, first of all, because every day I'm borrowing it. I'm making a song about this dude because he is so badass, just on the field and off the field, his personality, and he's a leader for that defense, and he's the type of leader that we need. So I'm very excited about these guys. I'm very excited about Kiko Alonso. I cannot wait to see him out there because I've heard just all good things. And again, we haven't seen him perform as an Eagle, but with what I've seen and the people that he has around him, I can only expect for him to have a lot of success for us in Philadelphia.
I can't deny that. I cannot deny that. Linebackers are very good there. For the Bills, they have Manny Lawson, veteran, been around for a while, very good run stopper. Nigel Bradham, who has really come into his own, not a league-wide known name, but has become very good in the years that he's progressed. His first couple of years were shaky, but he's become a very reliable outside linebacker. In the middle is last year's rookie Preston Brown, who really came on and looked very good. So it's a very solid unit. Up front, like I said, I love Manny Lawson. He's a lot of people says he doesn't get any sacks, but that's not what his job is. He is great against the run. He does an outstanding job of that. Bradham is good as a pass rusher and also does really good pass protection. And Preston Brown really put a big impression on me. In this case, from a total perspective, I have to give the edge to the Eagles. So that leaves us with the secondary.
Okay, let's close it out with the secondary. So we have Nolan Carroll, Walter Thurman III, Malcolm Jenkins, and Byron Maxwell. Second is Eric Rowe, Chris Maragos, Ed Reynolds, and EJ Biggers. So we have a lot of young guys, a lot of new guys. Pretty much our entire secondary is brand new. They have not played with us as an Eagle. Some are rookies, some are former Seahawks players, which I'm happy with because the Seahawks have probably the best secondary in the league, Tim. Oh, the Byron Maxwell. I'm really excited about this guy. We essentially just swapped him out. We swapped out burnt toast, you know what I'm saying, and got in this guy who played opposite Richard Sherman, which means quarterbacks didn't want to throw it Sherman's way, so where do you think they went? And, you know, he did a lot. He got a lot of balls thrown to him, and he had a lot of success there in Seattle. And all the Seattle fans that I've talked to have nothing but great things to say about him. So I'm really excited about our secondary this year. But again, as an Eagles fan, it's just hard to get excited and not be stressed out with your secondary, especially at safety. Again, it's the same answer with a lot of positions because we haven't really seen them play for our team yet and how they work together. So I'm very optimistic though.
For the Bills, we have Stephon Gilmore and Leotis McKelvin at corner, and our safeties are Corey Graham and Aaron Williams. Also throw in the Bills' first pick this year in the second round, Ronald Darby, and our nickelback, the aptly named Mikel Roby. These guys, Leotis McKelvin actually is injured, so Ronald Darby has been taking his place. Once McKelvin gets back, that will be the because Darby's only a rookie and he's being tested. Stephon Gilmore, another first-round pick who's probably hasn't lived up to the full potential. He's shown flashes. I love our safeties. Corey Graham, that longtime veteran, was last with the Ravens. Played mostly cornerback, is now at the age where he's better suited at safety, and he's showing to be a fine safety. Aaron Williams, who was a cornerback in college, tried it out in the pros, wasn't really fit outward, is a far better safety. Mikel Roby, I am thrilled that they recently extended his contract. He just plays with a fire, and he can be a difference maker, and I think that he will be in this defense, especially coming off the edge on some corner blitzes. I love our secondary. Overall, I see edge builds in this manner.
I mean, just based off the lack of success we've had in secondary, I will let you have that. But again, this could be the year where it all turns around. So, but the unknown right now will go with the reputation that the Eagles had, and we'll give it to you. So, do you remember the winning? Can you name back the sides that won?
Let's see. We agreed on
Eagles O-line.
We agreed on Bills receivers.
Bills receivers.
Eagles and tight end.
Tight end.
Eagles offensive line.
Eagles O-line.
We agreed on Bills defensive line.
Bills D-line.
Eagles linebackers. And we agreed on Bills secondary.
Bills secondary. So we have 4 agreed advantages Eagles and 3 agreed advantages Bills. And how many splits did we have?
I believe we had 2.
2 splits, which
So because there's only 3 things that we did. There was only 3 units to talk about.
running backs was one of the splits. So
Yes.
we'll just leave it at that.
We didn't get the special teams, which
We ain't got time for special teams.
good luck.
Good luck
Not just in this game, but the season,
until we meet again.
which will be the season starts in just 2 more weeks.
Oh yeah, I'm so hyped for this season. I can't wait. A lot of, as you can see from my analysis here, there's a lot of unknowns, but a lot of potential, a lot of upside that can be had. And I'm just keeping my fingers crossed and sending out good vibes to my Eagles players out there in Philly. And I'll see y'all week 2 for a little Philadelphia trip to watch Eagles beat down on the Cowboys. So
And
that's it.
maybe week 14.
And maybe if PhilaDehlia turns into somehow got funds for a Tripadelia, then I'll be there. We need to work on Mark Vaderr getting a YouTube channel so I could shout you out and y'all could subscribe. But until then, just subscribe to me, PhilaDehlia, down below in the link.
Can I get some shout outs?
Oh, sure.
Shout out to Chris Williams at Bills Mafia. Shout out to Jamie Tilbury at Bills for Life. Shout out to 2 Bills Drive.
There you go.
You know who you are.
What's up? All right, so time for my signature Eagles chant. It's your girl Delio, PhilaDehliaEagles.com, signing up.
E-A-G-I-E-S,
Eagles!
You weren't expecting that, were you?
What'd you do? What'd you say?
I was doing your chant.